Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts Vertek and Chibi Bree are back with the latest Ashes of Creation podcast.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode with the Golden Feather. This is episode 50, and today is September 12th, 2020, and our guest is LiamH. Welcome in.
Hey.
And Vertek, my co-host.
Oh, hi. How are you?
And of course, all of you guys. Can't be here without you. Today we are getting back on track in both Ashes of Creation content and our own podcast content. There's actually a lot of stuff that we need to upload still. And now that we're getting settled and getting used to a new work schedule, we're able to flesh out more of a streamlined beginning to end process for recording and then editing and then posting onto YouTube. So.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff in line because of the move, and while we were trying to avoid paying $75 a month between us to friggin' Adobe. So we sourced out some different stuff, and I'm doing a minor refresh on my computer, so there's some things waiting until after that, because right now it runs slow as bad words. And I'm gonna make it better.
Also, thank you, Casual, for the renewing of the sub. Welcome in. Thank you. Just a few things about the podcast before we get into our lovely guest here who's been so patiently waiting. Starting in October, we are actually swapping over to Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I accidentally put a misprint for the post that I put up. I will be editing that. And coming soon to a tavern, Golden Tavern, near you, is a rebuild of our Twitch pages. So
you get it reprettied.
Yeah, it's time for an upgrade. Got to update the building a little. And last but definitely not least is LiamH, our guest, who streams on Twitch. And today he was streaming Football Manager.
Highly related to Ashes of Creation. Similar game.
It's exactly the same.
It's basically the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah. Tell us about how, first off, you were telling me previously that you stream the Football Manager game a lot, and you are interested in streaming Ashes.
Yeah, so to be honest, ever since I started streaming on Twitch a couple of years ago, it was always Football Manager, because that would be the game where I would be chilling on my own in my room, playing it for a couple of hours anyway. So that's why I got into that. But before ever playing Football Manager, I was always a big MMO geek. I'd probably say I've maybe played 8, 9, 10 different MMOs over the years. And now that Ashes is coming out, or it's obviously close to starting to come out, that's what's getting me excited to stream instead of obviously my regular games.
Nice. And how did you come across Ashes? What made you decide this is the game that I'd like to start streaming instead?
So I found it probably by accident. It was on, one of the usual YouTube videos you see, top 5 or top MMOs to be coming out in the future. And it was years ago when I seen it. I think it was either January 2017 or January 2018 when I seen the video. And out of all the MMOs that were sort of spotlighted, that was the only one where they mentioned the node system and how you build it up over time. And I was just thinking, this is way different to any MMO I've ever played before. And then honestly, since then, I've just been waiting for more stuff to come out and to see what's going on.
Well, cool. And
that's the name of the game here lately, is a lot of waiting just salivating the entire time.
We're biting at the chomp?
Biting at the bit, or chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the bit. I had it backwards. Oh, goodness.
Strike that, reverse it.
Strike that, reverse it. But yeah, we are excited to have you on, because you actually approached us. You came into our Discord and was like, hey, I want to be on your show, which got us really hyped, because we love it when you guys come to us because we don't mind coming to you, but it feels even more special when you come to us and tell us that you want to be on our show. So what about our show made you want to join us? Just curious.
So we spoke about this before, but so I was clicking on the Ashes of Creation section on Twitch, and like I didn't think there'd be anything going because obviously the game's not out yet, you can't stream it. And then that's when your pod was live. I think it would have been 46, maybe 47, I think. And then it was coming towards the end of it, so I'd missed it all, and then I had to wait until it went onto YouTube to sort of watch it. And then when I realized that you've been doing it for so long, I was just like, how have I missed this? Do you know what I mean? Like you've been doing it for that long, and I've just never ever bothered to look in the Twitch section to see if anybody's streaming the game. And then quickly found your Discord and thought I'd try my luck.
Well, welcome in. We're glad to have you. Okay, so Liam actually does, as I said, he does stream here on Twitch. I will go ahead and shout him out. There we go. I know that one of the other content creators mentioned Football Manager as well, so definitely a fun game. It looked interesting, and he was totally yelling at his players for being bad.
That happens all the time.
You have to show them who's boss, right? So you gotta
Absolutely.
You were bad. How dare you? Shame on you.
A coach that isn't yelling is a coach that doesn't care, right?
Exactly. By the way, welcome in to Sir Whitefang and Quiet Mouse. Thank you for joining us. And now Jakuda, welcome in as well. So, okay. Are there... let's see. I'm trying to figure out which way to go with this. What is your favorite part of Ashes of Creation that you've learned about so far?
Again, so the thing that pulled me into the game was the node system, because I don't think I've ever played. So this is my theory, right? So you play any MMO out there, and you play for, I don't know, 6 months maybe from launch, and then you get to a stage where you kind of played everything, and you're waiting for like the next set of DLC or content to come out. But I've got a theory that in Ashes, that'll never happen. So let's say, for example, you play for 6 months or 9 months, whatever it takes. You get to end game, you've kind of done everything that's available at the moment. I think on Ashes, it's going to be the only MMO where you could just simply hop onto another server, create a brand new character, an old character, and it's almost like playing a fresh game, because all the nodes theoretically will be completely different. All the landscape will be different, the quests will be different, people will be going into different areas, and I just feel like I don't think there's another MMO where you can do that. So if you play any of them, you just replaying the same content. If you create different classes, you just replaying the same content. But with Ashes, I think it's the one where, you could just hop on another server if you've got to your peak, and it's like playing a brand new game again.
I think I might be stirring maybe the pot a little, but I don't know. There is like a couple of day preemptive jump in for people that I guess backed a certain level or at a certain time, and you can get started on Ashes of Creation early, I guess by like 2 days maybe, I don't know. But I don't think in those 2 days it's going to be nearly as substantial of a difference as 2 weeks, 2 months, etc. into a server. I think, in my opinion, from my understanding, because it's going to take a couple of hours to get to the first level node, but then it's going to expand exponentially from that. So it's going to take a lot more teamwork, a lot more questing in the area, a lot more working with the nodes in the area, fighting and stuff like that to increase the level of the node going forward. So it might take a couple hours the first time, might take a week the next time, might take a month the next time. But yes, I don't know about all of them being in the same server, but
there will be Head Start servers, and there will be servers that do not have Head Start. So it's not going to be all on the same server, but like D Phantom was saying right there, there's going to be designated Head Start servers. So if you believe it's an unfair advantage, then so be it. And so this is my view on it. Like, I'm in the Head Start just because I bought up to that level of package, but I would much rather, even if I didn't have a Head Start, jump in when people are already started and have moved on from the starting area, so it's not so congested. Like, thin it out a little bit, because not everybody has to start on the same day. And if there's no node benefit, so what? You got a few people that are higher level. What's the big deal? They're not in my area doing my quests, so it's less impact to me.
Also, not to mention, I don't know if you join any of the MMOs right now, like World of Warcraft or something, there's always going to be somebody who's higher level than you shortly after a game started. Like, it could be, I didn't have any issues, but maybe Liam had issues the first week of Ashes, and because of that, he's at a disadvantage because for whatever reason, he just couldn't log into the server because I just happened to be like magical times and like got in when there was like a low server queue, and he was just over there like, I can't even get into the dang server. What the heck? You know? I'm sure something like that is actually going to happen because it's happened before with the testing. So I think it's just, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to enjoying the game, just enjoying the game kind of thing. But as Liam mentioned, yes, jumping into a whole new server is just going to be basically like starting over pretty much for at least your character, but also it's not even the same world anymore. It's a whole other, it's a parallel universe.
Oh, like, exactly. I don't think you can get that from other games. So like you said, WoW, then you play WoW and let's say I don't even know WoW that well, but you create a certain race, and then if you create another class and it's the same race, you're replaying all the exact same zones, the exact same quests. Basically, it's this exact same game. Whereas I think, for example, if you were to just hop a different server 6 months into the game, 9 months into the game, a year in, you just get a completely different game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a completely different experience altogether, depending on when you start. Because if you start right away, it's going to be a big rush. So there's going to be, everything's wilderness. Nobody's explored anything. You're going to be trying to figure out where the next node is going to be and then do stuff around that node so you can be one of the first to get, citizenship, so you can buy housing inside of it, and then hope that your node gets level 6 so you can get, the big super like exclusive mansion things that the tier 6 metropolis gets and all that. And then it's going to be a rush it's almost going to be like the gold rush days. It's going to be great. But then down the way, you get to start in and pick a server based on, if you really get that picky and you do that much research, you could actually dig around and see what servers have what kind of things going on and jump in there, hoping that you're going to get up to level in time to experience it before it changes, it goes away.
Yeah
100%.
Yeah, that's Z. Sorry, I'm just gonna sidetrack the conversation real quick. We were testing some things, and we even updated the bot, and we were hoping that fixed. But no, it seems to just not tell people that we're live, even though it's saying that it's set for all of that. So I'm looking into a Discord bot that will register when we go live and let you guys know, since the bot that we have is not doing its job.
Yeah, today, and unfortunately, like, apologies guys, we're so behind on catching up on a lot of stuff just because of the move and new job and all that fun stuff. So this got us a little bit of a delayed start today as far as like getting to it, but we actually started the podcast on time, so hey, there's that in our corner. But yeah, so I forgot to send Z her personalized alert that we were going online.
Poor Z.
Poor Z, we almost lost her. We almost lost Woodchip because our bot didn't work, but we're fighting the bot right now, so we'll get it fixed up.
Put him up. Thank you, D Phantom. So the background is basically there is a artist, environmental artist designer at Intrepid named Bacon, and he made the ocean, and then each month they put out new cosmetics, and these are the current cosmetics. By the way, they're available until I think it was the 7th of October,
till the something of October to be exact.
AKA just get it now. Just get it now. You don't have to worry about missing it. It's just it'll be fine. Just get it now. But yeah, I enjoy kind of making little sceneries with it and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, 7th of October. You're right. Good guess.
Yay! I remembered. Hello, white hair. Welcome in. Okay. So okay. Out of all of the classes. And you said you looked over it. Which one excites you the most? And in a sentence, what do you hope it plays like?
Okay, so this one doesn't quite excite me the most from what I've read about it, but the name does. and then how it plays does. So there's one that's literally called a Strider, and I think it's a Ranger Warrior, I think. And obviously, being a bit of a sort of Lord of the Rings nerd, that I'd love to play, and I literally hope it plays exactly how sort of Aragorn would play in sort of like something Lord of the Rings based. But
Oh yeah.
I don't think it'll be that exciting though as a class, because it's Warrior Ranger. You're not going to have like mage skills or anything like that. But I would be interested to see how that plays out.
Cicada actually agrees with you. Strider represent.
There we go.
For me, I'm interested in seeing what it's like to be an oracle, and I hope it kind of plays similarly to what a lot of druids play like. Aw. Thank you, Woodchuck.
See, I can't even think of a single sentence to describe how I want mine to play like, but the one I'm actually excited to look forward to is going to be Tank Bard, because I always have to play a tank, and adding a bard to it just sounds so interesting, and I can't even imagine what that would play like, so I can't even think of a one sentence that I can
imagine it. I can imagine it. It's just like you're a tank, but you're like, instead of threatening him, you're like singing threatening things at them.
Maybe kind of like, ooh, you know what? Maybe like a scene out of Beauty and the Beast where Beast is like stomping through everybody and singing. Like,
yeah, pretty
like
much.
that.
Yeah.
Or even, was it Gaston?
Gaston.
Yes, that's now my new headcanon for what a tank bard is. Gaston dancing through the tavern, just smashing people. Yes.
Let's
I think
break
a bard
it down.
anything would be interesting.
Oh, Woodchip. Sorry, say again. I missed it.
Oh no, I was just saying, I think any class which contains either the first part or the second part being bard, I think it's just going to be I don't know, it's just going to be fun to watch to see how they make that work.
Yeah, I'm excited about the support angle on that. And just, Woodchip, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Much appreciated. Seduction tank? Oh, goodness. What would that be?
Oh my.
I feel like that'd be a warlock tank. Only because of World of Warcraft's
World of Warcraft, yeah.
With the succubus that you can...
Weapon sings when you use it. That's kind of like the one meme somebody popped up on Reddit.
Oh man.
Where it was the summoned swords that were like eating each other.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Immersion. Have you played how many MMOs, Liam?
Roughly off the top of my head, I'd say 8 to 10 maybe over the years.
And have you felt very immersed in any of them? Like you felt like you were like really truly a character in the game?
Yeah, maybe in 2. In Guild Wars 1 when I first played that, I think back in 2006 maybe 2007, and Lord of the Rings Online as well. But Lord of the Rings Online mostly because obviously reading the books and watching the films, like I kind of sort of pictured myself in the world there as I was watching the films as well. And then Guild Wars 1 was like a really good one for me. Like that game got me hooked, and I was really invested in everything that was going on in the world. But ever since then, there's just been so many MMOs that I think have tried to come out and sort of call themselves like the typical like WoW killer, and I think they're all generic.
Yeah.
And you can't get into those as much. It's just a copy and paste, but in their own version of a different world. So yeah, just those two.
Yeah, I completely understand that feeling. The reason why I ask is because this month, I guess, the new dev discussion, I'll put it this way, is about immersion. And they were asking, what were some moments where an MMO broke your immersion? How much did those moments affect your perception of the game? How important is immersion to you in general?
Yeah, and to me, like, immersion's always been a really tricky beast. Like, I think I responded to it on Reddit, but to me, if I'm playing a single player game, like there needs to be immersion there. If it's a single player RPG, like Might and Magic style, whatever, it needs to have that immersion needs to be there, because I'm there by myself. I need to feel like I'm there in the action, right?
Yeah.
When I'm playing a multiplayer game, I kind of have a suspension of disbelief that many people would be, I guess, maybe jealous about. Like I can go into a movie and I can point out parts I didn't like about it. Like, you know, watching like a Spider-Man movie, I've been a Spider-Man fan since the day I discovered comics, like forever ago. And so I know all about all the different versions of Spider-Man, but I'm like, that was never in any of them. That was so totally an offshoot, and it was supposed to be the blah and the thing and the whatever, and I don't like how they did it. But at the same time, while I'm watching the movie, I can get into it. And same thing with like video games. As long as it's not like Ash is serious as far as graphics and like presentation, but then they insert like Fortnite like antics.
Yeah.
That would just totally kill it for me, and I'd just, all right, I'm done for now. I'll be back. But if it's a game like WildStar that was based around the antics and based around taunting the player and based around like crazy things happening, like I can definitely get into that, because that's what everything's based around. That's the universe that you're in.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too. For me, I don't know about immersion. I like believing that I'm in the game and that like my character matters, kind of like what, let's see, is it Vale Mist Warden put is like in Final Fantasy 14, your character is very critical to the main story, so there's kind of like that immersion there where it's like, you know, oh, I'm necessary, but at the same time it feels like a single player MMO. Like my character as a single player person is immersive for Final Fantasy 14, but I need other people to get the things done, if that makes any sense.
Oh god, Chris Games basically says 4K is immersion.
4K is immersion. Gotta have the big screen. Gotta have like the rounded, the VR. VR is true immersion, my friend.
True story. And before it gets buried, Mad Max, by the way, more about the Bard class. We really don't know too much. The things that we do know are that they're going to be awesome and they're going to be really cool. And no, seriously, the fact-based stuff that we have really is that they're going to be a support class. And when Intrepid says support class, they mean support class, not just a glorified title for another healer that can stun people. Like they're going to actually be casting out supporting abilities for the entire raid, for individual people, for whatever. And they're not going to be like a buff turret sitting in the back of the raid just shooting out buffs, and that's all they're going to do. They're going to be playing active role. They're going to be actively participating with their abilities instead of just choosing whatever button lights up. They mentioned something about a very interesting system of how the abilities are going to be used, but they haven't gone into a lot of detail yet. So a couple of us are really kind of, yeah, exactly. And like Vale is saying right there, if Bard plays like Dancer, it'll be entertaining as hell. And that's kind of how I think they're going to go along with it. I haven't come up with a thought. Yeah, like Capoeira. Yeah, but I came up with a thought on how it would work and posted up in the forums before. Like if they actually had like different names for different parts of songs and whatnot, like chorus and bridge and intro and stuff like that. And they had to hit certain key combinations to get it to work out. And they had to continually do that to keep their buffs going. That would be so interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do out there.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see how they actually play.
You could always tell a bad player as well, because like if they weren't hitting the key combos correct, you could just tell they were playing some like really bad song, and you're
like, oh my gosh, it's in The Sims when your character can't sing or can't play anything, it's just like playing it's like horrible screeches just happening. You're just like, just stop. What are you doing? Stop. So many streamers play bards. Yeah, I'm more excited for cleric healing types, just because there's so random, you know. So awful one on Christmas? I don't know. I
mean, I had my fingers crossed for earlier, because I think if I recall correctly, they said something about fall, right? Like I don't know if it was like late fall or whatever. 2020. Yeah. So, I mean.
Well, they did say that they updated Unreal Engine, and that ended up causing like breakage for their a couple of their systems there, so they have to scramble to fix that now before they can keep going. And he's been very awesome and trying to keep us up to date, and also like, I'm sorry guys, things broke, but
which, you know, happens, but I'd rather it happen now than later.
Yeah, I must say, I agree with the consensus of a lot of people that Ashes has been very transparent, especially during their live streams when they're mentioning things like, yeah, hey, this broke, we got to fix this, I'm sorry, it's going to cause some delays. Like, granted, we are hoping that the MMO would be out by now, but I'd rather it not be out and still be working really hard on making sure it's actually going to come out well, rather than just push it to come out on time and then it flop, you know.
We
Because
don't
it didn't get the love and care.
Yeah, have you seen the preview of New World? That I think was out last week.
You know, I haven't actually. I've been very. We're gonna move. We're gonna unpack. We're gonna like do it slowly, and then we look up a week later after we move in. We're like, oh man, that was a busy week. And then we look up today, and we're like, are we ever gonna unpack? Goodness. So if that doesn't say the state of which the household is in right now.
Yeah, it's all a mess. It's all a mess.
Yeah, just a little bit. But no, I'm interested because I hear a lot of interesting things with New World. Where were you gonna go with that?
So yeah. Oh, no, all I was gonna say is we don't want with Ashes. We all don't want what New World's done. So I think originally it was supposed to be released in April, pushed back to August. Now they're doing like basically another beta weekend, beta week last week, and it's going to come out next year. And I played that, and the game was a mess. Within 4 minutes of playing, I think I counted, I found my first mob that was just stuck in a rock, and I'm like, this game was supposed to be released like 4 or 5 months ago, and it's later than that, and it's still broke, and now it's not until next year. So I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy to wait years for Ashes because it's sort of. That's the only thing I don't like about Ashes is the wait, but I am happy to wait because I know if they take the time, they're going to bring out a good game, and then we'll all sort of be happy with it, and it's not going to be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I heard good things about the first bit of testing with New World, but then the next bit of testing happened, and that's the one I was invited to play in. And then right before I went to play, people were like, "Yeah, it's garbage." It's garbage, and they gave me all the reasons why and described what was going on, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. It sounds like they have some stuff to fix, so I'm not gonna dive into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so horrendous. Yeah, not as far as we're aware. No. Meatball, yes, totally agreed. Good games often take more time than bad ones to develop, and I'm tired of bad games. Take your time, Intrepid. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. What about the Tolnar? When will they be available? They probably, to be honest, I think they're going to be maybe the last ones to really get a whole lot of love as far as the races go. They may not even be available to play around with until some of the betas, I would imagine. I don't think they've actually given any word on that officially, but that's what I would guess. Anyway, it's where my money is. And yes, Vale, no scope creep is important. Don't just keep adding things because, hey, it sounds cool today and I'm going to add it tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if they're happy with what they've got planned already, stick to that, because that's another thing I heard about New World. They've completely changed what the game's supposed to be from 6 months ago, and then that's where all their issues are. So I'm happy with how Ashes have, like you said, they're really transparent. I'm happy with how they've done it so far. They want to hire another 200 people just to make it a little bit faster. I'd be happy with that as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just do it real quick. Just hire some temp contractors. Like, you're on contract for 6 months.
Which, kind of similar. I'm actually kind of excited that Intrepid decided to open up an EU company office and are hiring for that. But
There are many people that are happy about that.
yeah, I'm just excited because that just means that, like, they'll have a lot more of, like, I think, I don't know, if having an EU station means that, like, people in EU are experiencing problems can go to them and not wait for, like, us. You know, like, because, like, right now it's 8 p.m. for us, 5:30 p.m. for West Coast, which is where Intrepid is, and midnight 30 for Liam. So
1:30 now. 1:30.
1:30. Okay.
1:30.
Sorry. 1:30.
Elite
But
one.
yes. But yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of nice to have something in your own time zone where you can be like, hey, I'm having issues, instead of like, well, let's wait for Intrepid to wake up. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. They were going to have a publisher. Was it My Dot Games or something? I don't know much about it myself because I haven't had to deal with them because, I'm over in America
Right.
land. But apparently they're a pile of not pleasant stuff when it comes to games. And so if it's going to be directly from Intrepid, self-publishing, that's going to be a very important thing, both for customer service and also I would imagine stability, because they can immediately start acting on something that they are told about or find out about going on in the area.
Mm-hmm.
They can immediately act on it instead of having to wait for this or that or the other.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as Tryon. That makes me want to cry. I'm glad it shifted away then. So, hey, Liam, what do you know about this caravan system?
So, obviously, I've seen all like the latest updates and stuff on the game, and I like it, but I'm also really, really scared if it's my materials on the line.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to set up my own caravan to take my stuff from place A to place B unless I know I've got a guaranteed X amount of friends online ready. You can't trust it. I feel like the moment it gets out of like the main node, I feel like people are just going to be there ready to fight you for it, which will be fun. I will enjoy it, but I'm definitely going to make sure I've got a team ready.
Ready to fly on a wish and a prayer.
Yeah.
So there's a question I bumped into on Reddit. I thought it was really, really interesting. It was a post by user Bino91. Fantastic name. But it was, why would a random person choose to defend a caravan? If anybody hasn't really thought about that deeply, it's Stephen has said that there are rewards, but there's no real definition on what those rewards are thus far.
Mm-hmm.
And so far it seems like heavily tilted towards the attackers, because if someone is just randomly hanging out and they're like, do you want to defend a caravan? Maybe. Let's see who's attacking first, I guess. With a lot of people attacking, I'm not going to defend shit. I'm going to run. I'm not getting involved in that. But so I think the benefits for defending need to be pretty substantial for rando people to take part, and also people to hunt down caravans to defend. I know, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in chat will, I'm sure, but I think Steven said that there was going to be some form of like progression with some kind of a system or achievements or something that was going to include caravans, like your participation in caravan fighting, either attacking or defending, was gonna help you in some system somewhere.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
That'll definitely get people on board.
Yeah, so that'd be Go ahead.
It's just for me, because like I mean, I would probably defend it if I was like, yeah, this is my guild's caravan, like guild things. But then outside of that, like, I don't know. I mean, you definitely have more of a reason to attack it than defend it, I guess, for the ability to get whatever is on the caravan. But I don't know. It's like a hard situation, because like, yeah, you can like loot from the caravan and like loot from people that die along the way, but
yeah, I figure there's got to be almost an instant gratification factor to it, really, because there's going to be somebody coming by with a caravan, right? And you have a split decision to make, or a split second decision to make, whether to attack or defend or ignore. And to attack means, hey, they could be transporting, I don't know, osmonium, the most valuable metal on the planet. And you could get a portion of that just by being one of the 10 people who attack it and totally wipe it out. You could get 10% of that. Well, maybe 8% if the two other people that died and get sent far away don't make it back in time to collect on whatever drops on the ground.
yeah.
So you get a 1/5 share of osmonium, and there you have it. Cool. But to defend, well, what do you get? I get some points in a system that might help me when I tally up more points by the end of the week. Or, I'm only 7 caravan defense away from getting a new emote. Okay, well, is that going to outbalance? Maybe you might, double your wealth because you're poor and that's why you're out in the woods hunting to begin with.
Yeah, no, that makes sense now you put it that way. Because you just go for the materials that you're likely to win if you attack it rather than you probably do all the achievements first for defending, and then every caravan after that you just attack and take the resources. So yeah, they have to give you something, maybe like a buff, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd have to be something fairly tangible and fairly like on the instant gratification spectrum, rather than points down the line that might get you a new emote or access to a shop where you can buy the Caravan Defender Karas or whatever. That just is a unique look that makes you look like, I don't know, the Defenders of Rome or something.
Want to buy a tank?
Want to buy a tank? I got it. Tank for hire.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy because, like, as Free Spirit says, they said that they heard that there was a problem with New World's PvP system. It's an opt-in features with little reward for doing so outside of completing faction missions. And Horrendous said that they're sure there will be like mercenary guilds out there that will basically want to just get hired to protect caravans. So I could see it from an economic point of view being an interesting like situation there, and definitely outside of being a part of like a guild or a group of people who are trying to go from like this first node to that next node, or if we have people that we're trying to trade with that were like, you guys have the seasonal things that we don't have, so let's trade kind of thing. Through the caravan system, I can see that like as a benefit, but like again, I think there should be definitely something of a maybe like each successful caravan defending gives you, like you said, maybe a buff or something, so that way it makes it harder for the next group to try to like onslaught you. By the time you get to where you're going, you're just like buffed to all hell. Just like, yeah, just leave us alone. You're just gonna like be that OP character from World of Warcraft at the higher level, walking through lower level dungeons where like the creatures are killing themselves trying to attack you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I think Soda Drifter, if defending a caravan directly benefits your node, it would make it worth protecting, I think. Yeah, I think that's where the benefits are going to have to be fairly tall still, because at that point, the caravan's going from your node to a different node. Maybe it's an allied node, but it's got to go through that your entire metropolis's zone of influence, and then all the way through the other one's zone of influence to get to the other node. It's a long way to travel. Some people aren't going to be that excited to just walk along with it the entire time, unless it gives them a really good benefit.
Yeah, apparently you can choose to defend or attack it. So it's just like, why would I, a random person, choose to defend your caravan rather than attack it? I think is what the initial question was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So like, it definitely makes sense from I'm a part of this guild. We're trying to, increase our benefit of the node stuff. But then like, what if I am like from a different node, but like, why would I want to either attack or defend it? Why would I choose defend over attack is basically...
Yeah, if you're a random person that wandered into this part of the woods collecting robin's eggs for the king's omelet, and a caravan comes by, and it offers you the choice of attack, defend, or ignore, what's going to make you pick that defend?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll probably pick ignore because I'm like, nah, it's too much of a hassle.
Because your robin eggs would break.
Exactly. My poor robin eggs. I need those for my alchemy.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool little conversation. Like, people are having good points all around, but yeah, I just think that the benefits that Stephen has mentioned need to be fairly substantial.
Yeah.
So, Liam, do you, sir, by the way, have any inclination whatsoever to join in the religious system?
Oh, now, So I'm not that much a religious person, sort of, obviously, in real life. So I don't know, but I'd need to know what the exact benefits are before picking. If it's one of those things where it's just kind of like a side thing, just like a bonus thing to do, probably not. But if there are like really good benefits, then absolutely, I'll be all over it. I'll do anything in the game, which is I'll explore as many things in the game as I possibly can, so long as there's a benefit for it. But as of yet, I don't quite know what all the benefits are.
And that's going to be a fun part, because overall they've said is augments.
Yeah.
I mean, you could grow grain faster on your freehold for all we know about the augments. I mean, who knows what it could be? But yeah, that's something I'm really curious about. I'm curious to look into, because like you, I'm not really religious in this real life place. But in game, I mean, if it's going to get me a benefit, I mean, long live the whatever deity I find that's going to give me the most money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so there was another question somebody else had about religions that we bumped into. That was who was this from? A user in TIMEEI and then capital GT. So Timey GT. I don't know. Either way, it was
I don't know.
Timmy GT. But it was if you could participate in the religious system and get the augments without needing to go to the major metropolises and take part in like the organization at an institutional level. Like, do you have to go to the metropolis and go into the cathedrals and do quests and such in order to get the augments, or could you just be like a traveling somebody?
Can I just have my D&D moment where I'm traveling down a road and suddenly a rock strikes me from out of nowhere and I hear a voice booming in my ears telling me to pray to this god and he will grant me favor? Sorry, I had to. But like there should be like little shrines and stuff like that. That'd be so cool. Like if I want to have the thing of my character hates the inner city because the inner city is all snobs, even though I think I have a snobby character. Technically,
snobby
like
is as snobby does.
The high elf, like I forget what it's called. The type of elf. The higher elf. Usually they're called high elves, but the Empyrean elves.
Yeah.
Like if I have an Empyrean elf who randomly is just like, shame on inner city things, like, yeah, can't we just randomly be passing by a random shrine and be like, oh, I wonder what this is, and then happen upon a god? Or, you know, do I have to go into the big city that I hate? Sorry, completely leaning into the RP side of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, my views on it are that, so if I were a deity, right, and I were up there and I had all these powers and I could do all sorts of things, would I waste my time on somebody who's like, I don't want to go to the city, go to these institutions. I just want to kind of hang out in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, I had to take off from the soda.
Yeah, there has to be something to make you do it. Like you were saying about defending the caravans, with the religions, there has to be something to really draw you into it, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you get the same benefits by not going to town and doing the quests and participating in the organization and the order, then why would it even exist? Why would they take the time to get it put in there?
Well, what if I am just as devout of a follower without going into the inner city and organization as your inner city organization people, but I just choose to be a lone wolf? What if I just don't want to be bothered with, like, I mean, I'm just saying, and to put it in, like, I guess a more actual religious aspect, you got people that believe in a deity, and people believe in a deity and go to a house of worship for that deity. But whether or not they believe in that deity or they worship said deity, either way, is not dependent on going to a house of worship for it. But maybe they meet more people there and there's a different community there. I don't know.
So let me put this in a different context. Let's say you have a house, right? And you're living with a bunch of roommates.
Okay.
And one roommate is always just hanging out in their room and they're thinking really positive thoughts about the house and all the roommates and really positive thoughts about the chores that need done, and really positive thoughts about the rent being paid. But they just never go to interact with anybody to do the chores or to clean the house or to pay the rent. But then there's this other person that's like always doing chores and always helping out and always interacting with the people to make sure, hey, are you guys good? Are we good? Is everything good with the house? Cool, awesome, always interacting with everybody. Would you not kick out the roommate that's like not doing any chores, not doing anything that they should be doing as part of their responsibilities? It's the same thing. Like, would you as a deity benefit somebody who didn't want to participate in your religion? They just wanted to think happy thoughts at their own altar, at their own house, at their own free time.
I'd go kick them out.
What I was saying was, you've got a person that lives in their own house doing their own chores and thinking happy thoughts of it, versus somebody who lives in a group house doing chores. Like, they can still do their chores and get it done. Huh?
But what's that do to further your religion if they're not actually at your house of worship and interacting with your bishops?
Depends on the god. Maybe it's the god of wrath. It's fine. He's like, whatever, I don't care. Just freaking go kill things. Whatever, as long as you're killing things, I'm happy.
The battlefield is worship. Go.
Exactly.
Go,
Exactly.
Children.
I'm just saying. That got intense. I'm sorry.
Deep thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. I can lure new people to come to my house by saying, "Hey, look, I've got this shiny shrine over here for the wrath god. Come tell him how many people you've killed and how much you hate life." I guess I don't know, because you're striving to kill people for the wrath god.
Oh la 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 la.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope we're at least like somewhat entertaining for you, Liam.
Honestly, you've made me thought about the religions even more now, because to be honest, it was just sort of like a passing thing. I'll see what happens when it comes out. But do they ever mention a time frame for when they'll announce more about the religion and stuff, and when we'll have more details? Is there anything hinted?
As far as I know, they haven't really. It's all eventually more details will come out.
Honestly, they're keeping lore and stuff very close to the chest. They kind of want us to experience things firsthand. I would like to know more, and they have given some lore things. Like with each of the cosmetics, there's a little bit of lore that gets released with it. Like where it came from, why it's a thing, etc. But
if I had to stab a guess, I would say Alpha 1, maybe they'll toss some more religion stuff in the game, and they'll really start to give us more nuts and bolts on how it works. Like how the actual system's supposed to work, if I had to hazard a guess, but...
Yeah, exactly. We shall see.
We'll see.
But... So, I came across this interesting post. This is a subject that we ran over a long time ago, which is... oh man, was it with Farazan maybe? About the different spell skills.
You can do it.
I just like combined two words together. Spell skills, whatever. Having a certain look when you do them. Spills, exactly, just spills. So for example, this one is about the fireball ballerina animation, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but basically he starts to cast the fireball and he like jumps in a circle and then just like whooshes the fireball. And they're saying that, you know, the elegant pirouette, basically, casting animation that the mage does to throw the fireball is completely like over the top, especially for when we were able to test it like levels 1 through 5 or 10 or whatever the max was for that. And we had this conversation before with like, as you level, the spell animation, the casting animation leveled with you to make it feel like your spell was growing in power. versus like starting off with like the super awesome I did it again. Spell casting animation. Basically like from the beginning, and then as your spells become more powerful, it doesn't have the same effect as like, you know. Yeah, the Pirouette's funny, I like it, but I guess a lot of people feel like it's over the top for, in my opinion, I can see how it's over top for like level 1 to 10, but maybe like when you get closer, like 25 or 30, whatever the end, I think it was at 50 was the first cap. Oh boy, you're VIP. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh geez, I think those are still left over from when I was using the bot for my channel.
Unless it gives people like a name for like being here a while, but who knows? Oh geez.
Oh man, we'll see. But yeah, I definitely remember before when they were talking about the spell effects themselves. It was kind of the same thing. Like, I hope they left room. Somebody was saying, I hope they left room to increase what the spell effect is without going over the top with it. Because as you level up a skill, it should get more and more impressive. It shouldn't just be super impressive to begin with and stay the same throughout the entire lifespan. It should start off as meh, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And then just get more and more and more impressive as time goes by.
They're just saying, like, can you imagine 30 plus mages doing a pirouette at the same time?
Yeah. Well, what I'm hoping is either they'll kind of change that as well, because I can agree with that. But on this time here with this one, I can definitely agree with that. And I'm kind of hoping they either move that animation to something more impressive, or that maybe that skill is meant to be leveled up a lot, and by the time it gets to its absolute peak, it's going to be monstrous.
Oh no, we lost Vertex.
Oh no, I lost my legs.
But yeah, that's just something to consider. What have you played, Liam, where it felt like either the animation was like spot on or like over the top? Have you ever felt like maybe it was just no?
Just no.
The just no, I'd probably say like Lord of the Rings Online. As much as I love the game, like years ago, there was nothing like spectacular with the skills. Like, especially if you were like a hunter, it was simply arrows or a different combination of arrows. There was nothing special going on whatsoever. And I'd say probably Guild Wars 2, because I played Elementalist when that first came out, and you could toggle between I think it's water, air, fire, and water, air, fire. There's another one, lightning maybe. I think I don't know. There's another one. There's 4 of them anyway. And when you if you get the combinations right, you've just literally got so much going on the screen. But it's good to look at. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it can be too much, but so I think Guild Wars 2 did a really good job with their skills, making them look good, and Lord of the Rings Online didn't.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, that's just something that I think is going to be interesting as like feedback in terms of Alpha 1 is concerned, because as our countdown showed was like the hybrid combat system that they're planning, and having that kind of hybrid combat system where like I can swing my axe and anything in front of me and within a certain radius arc gets hit, as well as tab targeting to attack certain people. So I think that'll be kind of cool, just because I can be like schmack with my staff, but then also attack something at the same time. Like, you're too close, get back. And then like, you over there, like, no, I would steal your life. But
it did look good in the last video that they showed on the dev update. I know it was very basic and he didn't do too many skills when he was playing, but it was definitely a good start. I like the look of it. I thought, because a lot of people sort of when Ashes sort of blew up a little bit, like about a month or 2 ago, when like a couple of the really big streamers got the talks with like whoever they were talking to at the time. I think there were different people. I think it was Tim the Tapman and Asmund Gold and all those kind of guys. So when that first sort of blew up, they were all saying the exact same thing. So far, this looks amazing, but what is the combat going to be like? So now it's sort of reassuring to see that it actually looks like it's going to be all right.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cute because, like, as transparent as they are with us, when Steven has it, he's like, it's my baby. I don't want to say anything about it. Like, this is mine. I'm scared to show off anything. And then when he does show it off, we're all like, and he's like, I'm sorry, the video quality on it. What are you talking about? It was beautiful.
Treasure. But yeah, I think it's doing all right. I mean, it's super basic at this point right now, but the vision that they have for it and the way I've seen some of the skills come out and be portrayed both in the BR when they were testing some things, as well as in the little quick test that we did, and then the hybrid systems display that Steven did himself. Like it's looking like they're learning and they're advancing, and I mean, given time, which, let's be real, a year or two down the road, this will launch and be fully ready, 100% ready to go. But still, like 2 years down the road, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. And there's a lot of bugs that are going to have to get worked out and a lot of things that we're going to have to go through, but...
Oh, and yes, Reluctant Raven, yes. Oh my gosh, they need better cams and audio. I can't believe this man... Mr. Steven, I'm sorry, sir. You have had a long run through a lot of MMOs. And you've been a guild leader, and you've been in voice chats for this long, and you haven't gotten a real mic yet. I'm disappointed, sir. Makes me very, very sad. I want to send you one for Christmas. Send me your address. I will send you a good mic for Christmas.
Oh. That last video, I kept saying to myself, harvest the cactus, Steven. I want to see what that is. No,
that may be true, TL, but there's a reason he hasn't gotten one yet, and I'm not sure what that is. So if it is simply that he hasn't had the time to focus on what to buy or where, I will totally buy one and send it to him. Figure it out.
Steven wipes. Oh. Yeah. But so node design.
No design. Yeah, there was a conversation. It looks like it was not exactly recent. It was like July or something. Somebody was talking about it on the forums about node design when it comes to declaring war and sieges on specific nodes. And by specific nodes, I mean if you are a citizen of a vassal node and your parent node is acting a fool, they are charging you too much for taxes and they're not protecting you and they're just being overall jerks. For some reason, you want to overthrow the parent node because they're running everything into the ground and everybody knows it. What do you do? Because you can't declare war on them and you can't participate in a siege against them.
I leave. Goodbye. Good riddance. I'm packing my sheet and I'm going.
See, here's the other interesting part. Let's say that you have time and money invested into setting up your freehold and keeping all your stuff there. And now if you renounce your citizenship, you have to take all that stuff that you have sitting in your freehold and move it somewhere. And then you have to also, let's say you have an in-housing instanced or non-instanced, even better. Let's say you have a house in the main node. It's a house, right? It's displayed in the square. You got to give that up just so you can topple the parent node.
That's fine.
Oh, man.
I mean, I technically did that to California.
Yeah,
You're charging too much. I'm leaving. They're like, okay, and bye. I'm leaving. But I mean, just saying, I can, if I have an what do you call it, courtyard house right there in the middle, smack dab, and I'm sick and tired of your BS. I'm selling my house for a crazy high price because it's gonna probably be something that somebody's gonna really, really want access to because it's right there in the middle of the node. I'm gonna take my money, taking it elsewhere. Congratulations, you lost me.
Yeah. I think honestly, the one thing that will actually be a good thing is that
Aw.
if a parent node is being an absolute roll of toilet paper and they're being an absolute jerk and you just can't stand them, and oh my god, the parent node is destroying whatever, you can vote somebody else in, or you can wait for the next championship, whatever, or you can wait for the next time somebody has to buy in. You can donate money to somebody's cause to be the next leader in an economic node, and literally the person who pays the most money is now the mayor of town. So there's ways to get somebody else to take control of that city, and they can completely revamp the entire system and turn it around. So you don't necessarily have to declare war on your parent node. You can fix things.
I'm just saying, if we all leave, who are you going to tax?
That's true. But somebody else, I think my favorite comment in there, and I wish I still had it pulled up, but my favorite comment in there was by somebody, and I forget the name, but their comment was, why would I need to fight them to win or destroy the node? All I gotta do is wait for somebody else to declare war or declare a siege, and I participate in said siege, and I misappropriate some of the services so that I'm actually helping the other people instead of helping my side.
Yeah.
I gotta move these supplies over. All right, I'm gonna hold them and sit down on the ground right here. My job is to heal people. Cool, I'm taking lunch. Like, whatever the case is, you literally just don't take part, or you try to do whatever you can to sabotage the whatever. And there you go. That's your way to wage war against your node, your parent node.
Yeah, that's true.
To be for mayor or chambermaid. Wait. Are you jesting about her for mayor or me for chambermaid? Hope me for chambermaid, because I don't like cleaning other people's stuff.
Oh. Okay.
But Liam, so in the recent everythings, like even the most, did you catch the last live stream?
Yeah, I managed to catch that one.
Yeah, good stuff. Because we were kind of moving during a lot of all that, so we took like 2 weeks to catch up on it. It was insane.
Right.
What, let's say out of that, or just in general, what are some of the biggest either questions, concerns, or sticking points of absolute joy? Like, what's some of the big things that are sticking out in your mind about recent stuff, I guess? Give it the past couple months.
So I know they spoke about like sort of like monolithic events in terms of like bosses, world event bosses and stuff like that, but I don't know if they'd ever do this, but if they were ever sort of time based, so you've got a world event boss and you've got, I don't know, maybe 100 people attacking it, and if they were ever timed, I'd like to know if it's ever a mechanic where, so you've got 80% of the people from Metropolis A are attacking this world boss, and if they fail it within the time, I would actually like to then see that world boss take a bunch of minions with him, or is whatever the mobs are in that area, and then go and attack that metropolis and sort of try and get its own back, and then you've got to sort of rally back and defend your base. Now I know there is sort of PvE monsters versus the castles and stuff and sieges that way. I'd like to see if it would work that way. I think that would be pretty good. If you fail a world boss, it then attacks you sort of back maybe within the hour or two.
Yeah, it turns around and gets all angry and, all right, I'm gonna show you. Hey, decisions have consequences, right?
Right.
And that's where those monster coins can come into play.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to see something like that. That'd be good.
Sorry, I'm gonna put this up here.
Uh-oh. I can't see what you put. I'd have to refresh my page, and I don't want to lose chat because for some reason there was a network error and I lost the view.
It's the swords fighting with like teeth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was art. If you look in the bottom right, art credit to Schmeckerl, by the way. That was important for them to mention. But yeah, apparently summoners can summon swords, but you can't really wield said summoned sword. So somebody immediately jumped on that art and popped it in, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I agree. I clicked the wrong button. There we go. And then there was this other one, which, not to get you guys too hyped up, but there is an old friend of Vertex who is planning to start streaming Ashes of Creation as well, and we're hoping to see if we can get him on. But they're hoping to do as also a podcast, and this is something that they were showing off as something is rising from the ashes in the workshop. Stay tuned for updates.
Yeah, Lore Seeker Cash. This guy's a cool cat. Like, I've known him since before SOTOR launched. We were actually content creators for that game when it started up in beta. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think we both ended up creating a Twitter account at that time specifically to promote SOTOR and get into the whole content creation for that.
Yeah. It's always interesting because he was like, I'm shy to do podcasting. And yet I was on a podcast with a bunch of other people for Star Wars, and I was like...
Well, I never said I was the most talkative.
Well, I mean, you were at least on, so it got me thinking. I'm glad I was able to get you on here.
Right? Thank you. But yeah, Cash is cool. He's a cool cat. He did a lot of gamer fitness stuff back in the day. And I'm ashamed to say that I feel sad that I have not followed a lot of his work since then. So it's a good thing he's getting back into Ashes, because now I can start following his work again.
Yeah. But aside from that, Liam, when do you think you're going to be able to stream Ashes of Creation officially, like the first time?
So I am sadly only bought into Alpha 2. Back when I first seen that video sort of briefly describing what Ashes was, I didn't even know you could actually sort of go to the... Was it a GoFundMe was it on? Or...
GoFundMe,
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
Back in 2017, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an option, sadly. But I've heard small rumors that potentially they may be reopening Alpha 1 to be purchased.
Yeah.
I don't know who told me that, and if that's an option.
Yeah, Steven mentioned it in Discord. He said there's a possibility it might open back up, mainly because I guess at one point they cut off the Alpha 1 buy-ins because they reached the 10,000 tester limit that they wanted to hit. But now they're like, we might be able to fit some more, so why not open it back up, you know?
If that's the case, I will definitely be jumping on that, 100%.
Sorry, my dog is like very apprehensive about something on my bed. That's what you heard her growling at. An overview of the Bard class. Mad Max, as we mentioned earlier, there's not really a whole lot that anybody knows about the Bard class.
I think you may have ducked out when I started talking about that one, because you asked the question, and sorry we missed it right off the bat, but we got to it like 5 minutes or so afterwards. But basically we don't know a lot yet. We know that it sounds like it's going to be neat because it's going to be a full support class, not just like support like other games call it a support, where it's like a glorified name for a healer that just has like an extra stun or something on their bar. But it's going to be something that sounds like it's going to play somewhat like the dancer in Final Fantasy XIV, where you have
in terms
certain
of
ability combinations you got to hit. Yeah, like if one ability will trigger another, and you got to follow a chain and do things in sequence to get certain things to happen. And yeah, something like that. Like you're going to be a buffer and a debuffer, and you got to keep things active and keep rotating through stuff. And it's not just going to be sitting in the back and casting a buff and standing around a bit or anything like that. It's going to be a lot more interactive. So it sounds super interesting, but we don't have all the details yet. That's one of their more complex sounding classes. Everything else is going to be straightforward. Yeah. Like Summoner and Bard. All we're getting so far is they're going to be cool guys. That's about
You're
it.
going to like them. No problem. Sorry you missed the response earlier. Alrighty. Well, with that in mind, would like to reiterate that we are moving weekly on Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, all the times in between. But basically, we're hoping to have on days where Intrepid has their live stream at 4 p.m. We would like to have a watch party. So if you guys want to come join us and hear our like thoughts and stuff, I might be the more talkative one. Vertec might be over there writing mad real quick, just mad notes.
Yeah, I'm. Chibi's bumped into this a couple times, but when I'm in focus mode, like watching a video and trying to get some details from it, or when I'm trying to read something, everything else I'm oblivious to. So I'll probably catch like a few comments in chat and be like, yeah. Or I might start talking excitedly to myself and then realize that, oh yeah, by the way, there's a mic in front of me. So then I'm actually talking to viewers. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we want to go to like 4 p.m. PST, which is occasionally going to conflict with the live stream. So we'll chill with you guys and watch that, and it'll just start immediately when they end.
Yeah, pretty much. And aside from that, we are looking to hear back from a few people. There's been about 3 or 4, and Jalan was one of them that popped in, I think, earlier. He was streaming earlier, right before we went live. And we're going to be having him back on at some point. But we're just kind of, now that we moved, we had Liam like, maybe it's the 12th or maybe it's the 26th since the 19th wouldn't work for you, and maybe it's this day but maybe it might be that day, and that was mainly like based off of a time period when we just had no clue if we were going to have a place to stay when we got out here, let alone internet speeds. So now that that's all sorted, we're trying to get everybody kind of like sorted out and stuff like that, and like this is what day like you're going to be coming on and stuff like that. So just reminder, I'm more than happy to actually pop this out there for you guys, and I'm gonna do my best to make it. I don't think I've made it a command yet, but I'm going to do my best to make this a command where you can be able to pull up our calendar, which is also below our stream. In the stream, like, I guess, I don't know.
Which unfortunately only shows 1 week worth of stuff, so you're really only going to see the very next show, or the current one if you're still on this week. But yeah, we'll see.
But this way you can at least add this calendar to your calendar, and as we make things live, we will put them on that calendar. So just check back often if you're curious to see when we're going, but definitely starting October 2nd, we will be having our first Friday stream. As my dog squeaks a squeaky toy in the background. So yeah, feel free to join us 4 p.m. on Friday, August 2nd. But we have the 19th and the 26th for this week. But we've been striving to get weekly instead of like every other week. Yes, the pepper approves. Keep an ear out for updates of September. Did I say August? I'm sorry. I don't know what month that is. All I know is it's Saturday.
We're Time Lords in this house, okay?
I mean, technically, that's what I get, you know. There's a place called Weird Brothers near us. Like, October. I get the Time Lord and he gets the Potions Master. They're different coffee names. But
absolute nerd names for everything. I love it. They make a butterbeer.
Yep. I didn't actually like that. I liked the White Witch more.
It's because it was a nitro. It was amazing. But Liam, anyway. Before we disconnect and run away, did you have any closing remarks, comments, or announcements you'd like to make to the peoples? Toss them out to your social medias and say visit me now or pay the price. The price being they will lose out on some quality content.
I would, but it's okay. Honestly, I'm just happy to be on the on podcast. I've enjoyed this, you know, because there's not too many people that I know who are currently into talking about Ashes. So, I was just happy to speak to other people who's interested in it now as well. So yeah.
Aw, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And his Twitter handle is kind of like right here below us. Each of us have our Twitter handle below us. Wherever it is, I usually end up on like a whole other part of the thing. I point this way, but they're that way. Directions are hard.
Directions are difficult. But all right, well, yeah, it was great having you on, sir. Enjoyed your company, enjoyed your conversation.
Would definitely
Yeah.
love to have you on again, especially shortly after Alpha 1 is not under NDA and is being streamed, to get your thoughts and views and opinions on what you think
Yeah,
the game
sure.
is like. Cool.
Sounds good.
And
Everybody here hanging out with us, thank you so much for your time.
you.
Thanks for spending it with us. As GB mentioned, keep an eye out for our facelift and our new graphics and new time schedule. Gonna keep stressing that. We're doing Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific going forward. Just so you guys know, we're changing days and times.
yeah, days and times. Not just
Days
days,
and times.
as well.
Gonna reiterate it again. But yeah,
yeah.
love you guys.
And I don't know that person's thing. But yeah, we'll be back next week on the 19th, 5 p.m. Should read Tavern
Quick
Side
shout
Gaming.
out to Christina Applegate. Yes, that was a crush of mine as well a long time ago. Christina Applegate, hoo-ha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actress.
Oh, okay. What do you guys think? Should we go raid Tavern?
Oh, is he on
Side?
again? Oh, yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, well, let's see. Well, we did him last time. Let's see. Ooh,
yeah.
is Jalan still going?
Let me see.
I don't know. Is Jalan still running?
No, Jalan's no. It's just us and Tavern right now.
Oh, well, let's get him. I was going to try and spread the love to see if we could raid somebody
Yeah.
else because we've already raided him, but let's get it.
Get it.
Well, everybody, feel free to buckle up for the ride. We're going to cruise on over. If not, we will talk to you later. And have yourself a fantastic weekend.
All right.
3D. Counting
Yes.
down. Bom, 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 bom. You survived. You lived the whole time, sir. I'm proud of you.
There we go. All right. He is actually right now watching Summit. Watch Ashes.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
All right, Bagel. Have a good night.
Have a good night. I think it's funny. And read.